Hey Hodies, welcome back to my channel. My name is hautemesstom and thank you so much for clicking on this video. Today we're going to do an in-depth review of the brand Victoria Beckham. If you are new to my channel, thank you so much for clicking. My channel is all about loving my makeup collection as it currently is while being critical of new makeup releases, but I do occasionally do reviews like this one that you're about to watch. So if that kind of content sounds good to you, I would love to have you subscribe. Make sure you like this video and share it with anyone who was curious about Victoria Beckham. And if you really like me, I'm also on patreon.com, but there's absolutely no pressure to support me on Patreon. You're welcome to if you would like, but I'm just happy that you're here. Thank you to all of my current patrons for making videos like this happen. You are the absolute best. Before we jump into the review, a couple of things. If you want to see these things get applied, I'm going to ask that you go to my first impressions video. I'm going to be here to tell you about how the products work, not really show you how the products work, because I've already kind of shown you how they work. So this is more about the aftermath. The video you saw on Monday was recorded at the end of November of 2022. I'm recording this, it's March 14th of 2023. I didn't think I would still have my mustache, and I didn't for a while, but then I wanted it back. And so it does seem that no time has passed based on my appearance, maybe. So yeah, it's been almost 4 months that I have been playing out with these products, testing them thoroughly behind the scenes. Some things have popped up on camera while I've used them, but I haven't talked about any of these in explicit detail. The third thing, never buy a whole face of makeup from a brand. That is an absolutely ridiculous thing to do. This is to provide information to you. And the only reason I bought all of this is because I have a beauty channel. I make a little bit of money on YouTube, and I also have the Patreon, so I make a little bit of money that way, and that helps fund these sorts of things. But for a regular consumer, this is too much makeup to bring into your collection all at once, and I don't recommend it. So to set up the preface, I'm going to try to go from the thing that I like the least to the things that I liked the most. I don't think my ranking system is perfect here, but I'm going to try my best. And as we navigate through this, some things are going to make it into my collection and some things are not, and some things are going to be replacing makeup that I have, and so we will go through that as we talk about each item. I think that's all the prefacing I have to do. In last place, and the thing that I liked the least, was the Reflect Highlight. Is it a bad product? I'm gonna say no up front, but this kind of balmy highlighter situation is not something that I really enjoy. It's not that I don't enjoy it, it's just not my favorite kind of highlighter. I do occasionally want to this soft, balmy glow, but it's not my preferred thing. And I also don't think it's gonna be a thing that a lot of people like, because if you don't like things that stay tacky on your face, then this one is it's a pass for you, because it does stay tacky. And another negative to it, I could not tell you if it was because of my mascara I was wearing that day and it was making my eyes water, because I was testing a mascara that I ended up not really liking. But one time when I wore this, it broke up the concealer right around where my crow's feet are, and and so all of the concealer and the highlight were getting into the crevices while leaving my skin bare in some places. It just looked really terrible. That only happened once, but it's kind of one of those things that could happen with something that stays this emollient on your face while you're wearing it throughout the day. I understand that there is a market for this, and I understand that maybe Victoria Beckham's ideal market, this would be something that they would be really into, but for me and my personal usage, it's just not something that's gonna get a lot of play. And in my video on Wednesday, I used this against the Westman Atelier highlight stick, and I'm gonna reach for that over this, and I don't reach for that very much, so there's certainly no need for me to have two similar products. But the Westman Atelier one is more sturdy than this one. When you touch this, it starts to melt, kind of if you were to grab a stick of butter and it just would melt in your hand. It's kind of the same thing. You rub your finger on it and it's immediately melty and balmy. And the Westman Atelier one, it gets there, but it doesn't happen immediately. And I think that whatever that quality is that makes this one stay really emollient is the reason that the Westman Atelier one kind of sticks on your face a little bit better. I do think that the Westman Atelier one has better longevity. I do think that Westman Atelier just has this kind of product figured out better. I'm not saying that that's the be all end all. I know that other brands make them, but my personal experience with trying formulas like this I've only really tried those two. So that's why I am comparing them. This would be a pass for me. So I am going to I'm not going to keep this in my makeup collection. It's not worth it for me. And the packaging isn't as great as the other packaging. For some reason, this one feels cheap versus the rest of the packaging. And I think it is because it is completely metallic. And it's not that I haven't had completely shiny things before that don't feel cheap, but there's something particularly unappealing about this whole experience to me. So yeah, I wouldn't spend my money on this. I wouldn't recommend you spend your money on it unless what I described about it seems like it's up your alley and you would really enjoy it. So if that's the case, then go for it. But I would, if you've ever tried something like the Westman Atelier highlight sticks and that didn't work for you, then I don't think you would like this either. That's one thing down. And when I tell you that's by far the worst product that I've tried. That's where we're headed. Let's move along. I'm not really sure how many things, but the next thing I liked the least is the actual lipstick. Okay, I need to be a little bit more specific about it. The lipstick is good, great. I liked wearing it. I've liked wearing it. But I hate the packaging. So right here, right there, that is all you have to grip to pull off the lid. And it's hard. It's hard to get this lid off. And I just think they need to go back to the drawing board. This one, see how this one has the separation goes halfway up? If it did that, it was halfway up, I would love it so much more. I would love the component so much more. I'd be more willing to grab it. But the formula is very nice. It's a nice kind of cream formula that's keeps a little bit of its luster, and I think it's really beautiful, and I've loved wearing it, and I love the color. I think it's a beautiful color. This is the shade Spice. I have enjoyed my time with it, but I just hate the packaging so much, and I really do think that's a big aversion from me using it. But this is not the kind of lipstick that you are going to have an all-day wear time with. It's going to be something that you have to bring with you. And that's the kind of formula I like. I like really comfortable cream stick formulas. That's kind of my desired outcome whenever I'm putting on a lipstick, because I'd rather my lipstick be comfortable than something that's bulletproof. That's not what I'm really interested in. So it meets a lot of my expectations. The packaging, besides that I think it's hard to get open, it feels heavy. It's so petite. It's so small, and you think it's when you pick it up, you're like, oh, this is serious makeup. It's the consistent packaging. But yeah, it's not the thing that I was most impressed with. So my advice to you is, if there's a shade that you have found in Victoria Beckham that you haven't been able to find anything similar to in another brand, I don't think you will hate this lipstick, but I also don't think it's a lipstick formula that is special enough to try just a nude from. If you're following what I'm saying here, it's not such a special formula that I feel like it's one that you feel like you shouldn't feel like you need to run out and try it. But I do think she does have some cool shades, but not any shades that I was looking for. I like brownie nude lipsticks, and so in that case, I wouldn't recommend this formula before anything else I've tried. But again, not the worst. I'm gonna keep this product though, because I do like the shade. I do actually like the product. I just find the packaging annoying. Next up is the Victoria Beckham Lip Definer, and I have mine in the shade 5, and I really like this lip liner. I think of the lip liners I've tried, which I've mentioned many times on my channel, which I'm not a lip liner connoisseur. Lip liner is not something I go out of my way to buy, to try. And so because I don't do that, it feels a little silly sometimes to spend a luxury amount on a lip liner. It feels like something that if I wasn't a lip liner, I probably would go the drugstore route so I could have some options. Comparing this to both the Pat McGrath and the Charlotte Tilbury lip cheat, this is my preferred. This is the middle ground. It's not too creamy, but it's not too stiff. So it goes on whenever you immediately, but it doesn't feel so creamy that it's gonna slip around before it sets. It's gonna go where you ask it to go, and then it stays, and it has great longevity. But again, I'm not a lip liner connoisseur, so it's not something that I pay a lot of attention to. I just need it to line my lips, and I like to do a darker lip liner to a little bit lighter of a lipstick. I'm not trying to do completely a 90s aesthetic with it, but I do like a little bit of a darker lip liner. I think it's a very good formula, but I have trouble saying like you should, this is worth your money, because it's like a very expensive lip liner. I've obviously tried Charlotte Tilbury. I've obviously tried Pat McGrath, but that's just because I kind of got them by happenstance, because it's like I did a Charlotte Tilbury brand review, and that's the only reason I have that one. I was a Pat McGrath devotee, so I would buy whatever Pat McGrath was peddling at any given time, and so I've broken that cycle, and it doesn't feel like that. But yeah, it's not the most special thing that Victoria Beckham has. It's like, it's really hard to like get super excited about a lip liner. I think you also understand that. So it does its job. It's a beautiful product. If there's a shade in there that you want to try and that you're willing to pay that price point, I don't think you'll be disappointed with it. So it's a very good formula. This might be controversial. So next up, I have the Cheeky Posh. It is good. Is it spectacular? Is it something that I think about now that I have it? No. In fact, I have felt like it's been a chore to use this. I have wanted to reach for so many other blushes before I reach for this one. And that's a shame. That's a shame. That feels not great based on the price point. I don't even think it's a color thing. I just think the formula is fine. But the packaging is nice, right? You know, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I like it. The shade reminds me a lot of the shades that I have been into. So like Mimi, Inner Glow. But I think it's the most close to Desert Orchid from Pat McGrath. But Desert Orchid has some shimmer to it. There's some magic to Desert Orchid from Pat McGrath that I think that this lacks. What I think is special about this is that I think a lot of cream formulas don't end up being like matte. Like they end up being like some kind of dewy, but this will be a matte finish for you. I felt like when I was wearing it, it didn't have like the best longevity, but here's the thing. I'm not at the end of the day going, do I still have blush on? I don't know. It's not something that I concern myself with paying attention to, because kind of when I get, so if I wear my makeup all day, if I've gone out for the day, looking at myself in the mirror when I'm about to take off all of my makeup is the scariest part of the day, because I haven't touched it, I haven't fussed with it, so I don't know what we're gonna look like. And so the last thing I'm paying attention to is if my blush stayed on. Most of the time I'm like, do I still have eyeshadow on? How bad does my skin look now that like my makeup might have moved around? So with that being said, it's not magical. And so whenever I tried Mimi from Westman Atelier, that felt magical. Whenever I tried Kira Weiss's Inner Glow, that felt magical because of the color. I just think that the colors available, the shade range available in the Cheeky Poshes is like not the most interesting. I think that Victoria Beckham really has some nuanced shades in her collection. I don't think those nuances are as prominent in the blush range. She does have some really cool bright pops if you're into that. And I don't think it's bad. I just wouldn't spend my money on this again. I would buy Inner Glow from Kira Weiss in a heartbeat again. I would buy Mimi again in a heartbeat. But this is like something that if I finished it up, I don't think I would run back to buy. I didn't find the formula really that special either. It felt like a lot of the other high-end cream stick blushes. And so perhaps if I tried this before those ones, I'd be like, those ones aren't as special as this one. But I think if you've tried a luxury stick blush, then you have experienced what this can provide. And so kind of like with the lipstick, it's a good formula. It does what it's supposed to do. And the only reason I would buy one is if there was a shade that you could not find in another brand that you already like the formula of. Or if, if you just like could not find it anywhere. I don't think that's a thing that Victoria Beckham is going to be able to provide you. But if you do, I think they're fine. I am going to keep this though. And the reason I am keeping it is you guys said that I looked really good in my video on Monday. And I thought, well, if I want to recreate the magic, I'm going to need the blush. The highlighter seems more situational to me. This did not seem like optional. I do kind of like that it is warmer than Mimi, and I could see myself maybe picking this over Mimi in the summertime, because that's whenever I really like to wear orange blush. And while I don't think that I would describe this completely as orange, it is like that flushy, beigey shade that leans more orange than Mimi, which is like a warm pink. This is like a warm, like light brown. I think I might enjoy this in the summertime. So I'm going to hold on to it since we're heading in the summertime. But if after the summertime I haven't found myself reaching for this very much, then we'll probably call it quits then. It's kind of on probation. It's like, I'm not excitedly bringing it into my collection, but it's like, I think I'll get some use out of you. And it's one of those things where I did pay for it and I'm not completely disinterested in it like I kind of am with the highlighter. Next, which did not appear in Monday's video because it wasn't new to me, but I've had this for a while, so I feel comfortable reviewing it with you, is the Smoky Eye Bricks. Now, I have the colorway Tweed, and that's what this one looks like. I don't think that the eye bricks are something that you have to run out and buy. The eye bricks, I think, serve a very particular purpose that I think that the luxury market has cornered, and that is for people who want to spend money, want to have an experience when they're using their makeup, and want high performing makeup. And I think that our eyeshadow formulas are really good. These powder eyeshadows are really good. I think they blend really easy. They glide over all of the texture on your eyelid. And if we're assuming that Victoria Beckham is making makeup that is for people in her age range, in their late 40s and up, then they've done a really great job formulating these. The great part is they last all day. Like whenever I've worn just this quad on my eyes, the eyeshadows, the vibrancy of them stay all day. The thing is, you're not gonna, I'm talking to my regular subscribers. If you're just here for the Victoria Beckham review, if you're new here, this like doesn't really mean anything to you. It's not something that I think that my indie eyeshadow lovers are gonna get a lot out of. You're not gonna love this. You're not gonna love this. This isn't for you. Don't spend money on this. This isn't for you. This is for people who want something easy, reliable. It's going to look the same every time you do it. It's going to blend out really beautifully. The one thing I will say is that this purple is not really purple. It shows up more brown than purple, but all the other shades show up true. And I really like this big shade. And I think she really kind of nailed it because like that's what I always end up putting on the lid. And while there is some shimmer to it, and I think there's some shimmer in this purple too, it reads more of like a matte on the eye. So you're not going to get like high sparkle. Victoria Beckham has a solution for that, and we'll talk about it in a moment. Yeah, it just seems like a very impractical purchase for people that like I know watch my channel. If you are just here, like if you just found me and this is something that speaks to you, I think you'll really like it. My mirror did fall out, and I don't know why. This is not something that like I use and abuse on a regular basis. Like I don't use this all of the time, so I don't know why my mirror fell out, but it sure did. And I got so frustrated I threw the mirror away, and then one of my subscribers literally said, "Why didn't you try gluing the mirror back in?" And it was already gone. The mirror was already gone. RIP to the mirror. And I think people have complained about this packaging. It is like a button you press. And I mentioned this before. I think you just need to get a good amount of pressure on it. It's not like the most, but it is just so thin and like this is small. This is like the size of a credit card. It's like very, very small, very compact. They're great eyeshadows, but I just think they're not the most exciting eyeshadows. High performing, last all day, but just not very exciting. That was the stuff that I feel is either specific for people. Like we're moving out of like the stuff that I'm less excited about. We're now moving into stuff that I am very excited to talk about. Next up, I want to talk about the bronzing brick. When I bought this, I did not think I was really going to like this. And then as I've used it over time, this is one of the things that I have reached for from Victoria Beckham the most as I have been playing with it. So I do keep makeup I'm testing away from my like makeup collection. It actually all stays in my top drawer now. So if I'm testing something, that's where it lives. But I try not to use it all the time because I want to like, use all of my makeup. But if there's ever something that I like regularly reached in there to pull out to use, it's like was oddly this. Like my one thing is I don't know about this whole like tapping this into the high points of my face where the sun would actually hit me. Well, one, because if you're using the Victoria Beckham system, you're tapping it on top of creams that are already on your face. And unless you do this first and you put the creams on top, but I like to do my creams before powder. So that's how I use them. So that's confusing to me. And also like, I'm sure it does a little bit of something because this is more yellow than my skin tone. The real star of the show is like this side. I believe that's this side called Sun-Kissed. It is supposed to be like the contour shade. So this is like supposed to be your real bronzer. The lighter shade in here, that's supposed to be your bronzer. Like a lot of us use bronzer in like a bronzer sense now, and we're like putting it on the perimeter of our face. But like this is like supposed to be like where the sun actually hits you, like that's where the warmth is going. This shade, I think, is perhaps the best bronzer that I have come across for people who are extremely fair. I have it on my skin now, and it's like, this powder is so finely milled and becomes one with the skin immediately and blends out just like incredibly. Like, I've never once felt like I over bronzed and like had to go back in and fix it, which is a real big plus, because that's something with creams, I kind of go overboard. But like when you look, it doesn't look like my skin is like orange or like some kind of crazy color because I put on bronzer. It's so, she nailed it with this, at least for the fair shade. I do think that if you have a very fair skin and you have been looking for a bronzer that is incredibly neutral but still does the job and shows up and doesn't look gray as a contour, I just think that Victoria Beckham like really, like, it's so killer. It's so killer. And you know, I'm not the lightest person. Like, there are definitely like foundation shades that are lighter than me, but like I know from personal experience that like this kind of shade is really hard for me to find that doesn't feel like it ends up looking orange, yellow, or red. And it just is like, it's so good. It's so good. Like, I cannot sing the praises of this. Praises of it enough. I love that it's refillable. I'm not really sure if it's like a magnetic component, because I just got some Surratt stuff and I did not realize that Surratt uses stickers for their, and I was like, that's confusing and I don't like that. But anyway, you can just buy the refill. It's refillable. I think the only thing with that is that I probably will find myself needing to rebuy it faster because I've used this side more. I mean, I say that it's gonna take me decades to use a whole bronzer. I'm just like thoroughly impressed with this. Like, I like did not expect to like this as much as I did. The packaging is like the better Hulk version of the eyeshadows. Like, it's just really nice to hold in the hands. I think if anything that I have ever like held in my hands feels to me what I imagine makeup felt like in the early days, whenever it's like, oh, here's this like beautiful component that's supposed to be like a luxurious feeling. Like, I think that this is the closest I've ever gotten. I don't tell you, this is really stinking good. And so if you need a new bronzer and you are very fair, this is what I recommend. I am thinking, listen to me, crazy. I think this is going to be really good for me for the winter, but I do like to bronze it up in the summertime. Like, this wouldn't be enough for me in the summertime. So I am thinking I might buy the refill of the next darker shade for the summertime and put it in here. Like, I'm not going to buy another component, like another whole one of these, and then kind of put the lighter shade in storage for the summer and then have the darker shade. It's a thought I've had. I don't need it because I also have another bronzer, but like, I am keeping this. Like, I'm very impressed with it. I'm not getting rid of Terra from Tom Ford, but I only have that as a powder bronzer, so I think that this is okay for me to keep. Like, I don't have bronzers out the wazoo right now. I do have 2 creams going, but 2 creams and 2 powders feels completely manageable to me at this time. We're just getting to my favorites. Okay. Next up is the lip glosses. I'm going to proclaim this. Victoria Beckham has the best lip gloss formula I've ever tried. And I'm not saying that as someone who's tried a lot of lip glosses. I've tried cheap lip glosses. I've tried mid-range lip glosses. I've tried other high-end lip glosses. Like, I have a lot of Pat McGrath lip glosses. This is the best. Victoria Beckham, this is the best formula. You want to know why? Never, not one time when I've used these have I ever gotten the white ring of death. Never one time, not once. And as my fellow makeup wearers, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and I never got it with them. And I'm so glad I got this clear one as a gift with purchase, because I really didn't think I would ever really like fall in love with a clear lip gloss, but I throw this on all of the time. And I got the shade Tanline, and I have opted almost every time I've been wearing Victoria Beckham over the lipsticks. I like reached for the glosses, and then you throw them in their bag. They're nice and luxe. They're glass. They're heavy. They're everything you could want from a lip gloss. So if you are looking to like step up your lip gloss game, I highly recommend these. They're so shiny. They're so comfortable. They feel like actually nourishing on your lips. They're just divine. They are so good. Of anything that I tried, how I felt about the lipstick, I thought I would feel about lip glosses, but no. What Victoria Beckham is doing with these lip glosses is like next level. I want all of them. I don't actually want all of them, but I want more. I don't think she has any that have shimmer in them. And the second that happens, I'm jumping. Lemming right over the cliff. I'm running. Incredible. Like I can't really belabor the point anymore. Like they're not sticky. They don't do like the stringy thing on your mouth unless you like apply way too much. And I really like the applicator because it's a paddle. It's not a doe foot. So I feel like you can really get it where you want it. It's just stupid. It's stupid. It's stupid that I feel this way about a lip gloss of all stupid things. Like it feels like such a weird thing to be so excited about. And yet here I am. Okay, we're down to the last 3 items I have to tell you about. And we are still going from like worst to best. And I like really don't know where to land on these 3 because I've enjoyed all 3 of these things a lot. Next up is the lid lustre, and I bought the shade Mink, and I have it on my lids as well as the Smoky Eye Brick, but the sparkly stuff is this from Victoria Beckham. This, I wanna swim in it. I wanna cover my whole body in Mink. Okay, I do feel like this is more specific. Okay, so kind of like with the highlighter, I think there's a person who's gonna really like this, and I think there are people who are really gonna hate it. Keep in mind, I have oily eyelids, so when I put this on bare, it does a pretty good job lasting. It doesn't last all day, like 4 hours maybe before it starts creasing, but then if you just tap it out, which is, I don't have a problem doing that. Like I'm willing to let something that's really beautiful, but maybe like not bulletproof, live on my eyes. I love that look. I do. And so if you're new here, the Rowan quads, I really like the creasy look those give me. Smoky quartz from Charlotte Tilbury in the Hypnotizing Pop Shots is something that I really enjoyed, but also was like not an impenetrable thing. It would break up on my eyelids. This has more tenacity than the Pop Shots from Charlotte Tilbury, both with Charlotte Tilbury and Rowan. I could never find a way to make them bulletproof. However, if I put Mink on top of eyeshadows. So I have it on top of the powder eyeshadows. There's a powder eyeshadow underneath this shade. It lasted all day. Didn't crease up, didn't bunch up, which is just beautiful. And like, I've already shown you the sparkles in other videos, but like, I mean, it's just incredible. If you are into like a slinky, sexy eye, then Mink is for you. Like Mink is for you. Like I don't think I can emphasize, like it's so sparkly. There are so many different sizes of sparkle inside of here that I feel like no matter how light's catching it, there's always some kind of sparkling back, whether it's a big chunk or a smaller chunk. And the way that this blends out, like it's weird because like there's silver glitter in there and it's kind of like a taupe shade. But when you buff it out, like if I only had this on my lids, it buffs out to like this rusty brown color. And I think that's why it works just so well as its standalone piece. However, and I've only tried Mink, but I have watched other people talk about some of the other shades. And I'm going to go ahead and say, I'm going to take an educated guess and say that not all shades are created equal. So I would take my review of Mink as a review of the shade Mink and not the other formulas. I'm not someone who feels like I need to try all of the things to get a full understanding of a type of formula, but I have watched, even on video, people put other shades on and they don't seem to be as sparkly. So if you were interested in this and you were excited about my review of it, like, cause I love it. I mean, I don't think I need to say it. Like this whole Victoria Beckham look that I've put together every time I've used this makeup is so sexy. And so if you are trying to achieve a similar look by using Mink, it's so sexy. It's so sexy. It's so sexy. Like I just like I can't emphasize, it's so sexy. I do want to buy more of these. Not right away. It's like not something I'm running to do, but like it's on my to-do list to get more of these. Probably things that are more dark. I don't think I would like it as much in a lighter shade. So I know that there's like a black one and a deep blue one. And I think those would be the two that I would like go for. You know, like those, that's like the vibe. Like that is like, that's where my brain goes, you know. That's what I want. That's just what I want, Muna. That's just what I want. I would want that. Like I want deeper shades. It's killer. It's killer. I love this. I'm so glad I got into like one and done shades, because if I wasn't and I was doing this and I was like besmirching this, I would be so sad. I'd be so sad. This like really does it for me. It's chef's kiss. I only have 2 more products to talk about. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Woo! Okay, so in second place, the runner-up. It's not really a runner-up. I actually think that the reason that the things I'm ranking first are ranking first in this brand review are explicitly because how they've changed my viewpoint on the specific type of product. So, the Victoria Beckham by Augustinus, and I said this so wrong all in my video, but Victoria Beckham by Augustinus Bader Cell Rejuvenating Priming Moisturizer. I hate to tell you this, like, and I really do. I really hate to tell you this, but it is so good. It is so good. It is everything I wanted it to be, but like I could not have, like, I've watched so many people talk about how they love this, and so I'm going to try really hard to explain why I feel the way I do and why I agree with all of the other people that have reviewed this that have said that they really enjoyed it. I mean, it's in glass packaging. If there's one thing Victoria Beckham gets across the board is like the packaging, less the highlighter, but that's my personal opinion. But like, first of all, packaging, A1. The product is not scented, and it's like a beautiful, like a serum lotion consistency. It's not quite a lotion. It's not quite, because it's like runny, and like lotion sometimes can be runny, but it's like very, very light. And so whenever you get it on your hands, like I feel like primer always has like some kind of heft to it. And this doesn't. It's like super light and airy. And then you push it in, you like put it on your skin, and your skin receives it with like open arms. Your skin receives it with open arms. And then what it does to your skin is it makes it so supple and ready for makeup application in a way that like nothing else I've quite tried has. Bobbi Brown comes close, but this stays tacky, and I talked about that on my video on Wednesday. I think it does a little bit of light refracting, and so it kind of feels like it's blurring, but not in a pore filling way. It's certainly not a pore filling primer. So if like that's something you're looking for, then this is like not going to be the thing for you. It's just like, I can't imagine anything getting my skin ready for makeup to do better. And like, I'm saying this as someone who is into primers too. I wouldn't use this as a moisturizer. I don't think it has the heft for that. I don't think it would work as just a moisturizer. I think this is like makeup skincare prep. I know that it is in the skincare section of Victoria Beckham's website, but I don't think it has the tenacity of a moisturizer, like of just a moisturizer. So if you're someone who uses your skincare and then just does your makeup and you don't like use primers, then I don't think you need to add this. But if you're a primer girly, it just does it. It just like does it. And like, I didn't get the golden one. I just got the original, like, clear one, I guess. It comes out white, but it's clear. It doesn't do anything. I know the golden one like adds a golden tint, and mine does not do that. I don't even know if I would like that, to be quite honest. I probably would. It's me. Has my foundation ever matched because of the amount of bronzer I put on? No, but also I think I have a hard time finding my shade in a lot of ranges. Anyway, I have put it over SPF. It works well. I have not personally experienced pilling with this product at all. But what I will tell you is that I have heard from other people that it has pilled on them. But I also, both times I've seen this, while they were saying that it did occasionally pill on them, that they still said it was a beautiful primer. So I'm passing that information on, but that was not my experience. My experience was like, it was lovely every time. I think the texture is really great. I love having this. Kind of like the bronzer, I reached for this a lot. Because I was like, oh yes, that is the primer I want to use today. I just think my makeup has never like looked better over top of anything ever in my whole life. And I think my makeup looks good a lot of the time. So for it to like even enhance something that I think I'm already skilled at, like it's so good. It's so good. It's stupid expensive, but will I buy it again when I'm done? Mm-hmm. So kind of in my brain, it's dethroned the Bobbi Brown. Now, I still have a lot of this to go through. I'm not going to give this away, but I'm not about to give this away. I still really like this primer. It's still really good. And I've gotten my fingies in there a little bit, right? You know, like we're working our way through it, and I will eventually finish this. But once this is gone, I think that this will be my primer of choice. Like the one I do my foundation reviews with. Like this is the primer. It's the primer. In my opinion, it's really good. It's so good. It's so dumb. Here's my recommendation to you. If you've, I think that it's, because I know a lot of you are really want to try this because there's so much intrigue around it. I don't think that my experience or any other person's experience with this product is really going to be able to convey to you how you're going to feel about it. And I know that's like a tough pill to swallow with this one, because it's like you really would have to use it to figure out if it's something that would feel worth it to you. And I'm not trying to tell you to run out and spend $95 on this. Like I don't want to say that to you, but I'm also not going to lie to you and say that it wasn't something that I just like so enjoyed using. The experience of using it was like so S tier for me. Like it was just like that's how I feel about it. I feel like it's so good. Either wait for the sale on Black Friday if you can wait that long, wait to get it on a discount, or there is a smaller size of this, but it is like $65, and I think it's half the size of this. So economically, it doesn't make the most sense. I wish they did samples of this, because I think that would solve a lot of problems. I think that would solve a lot of problems, because people could try it really before they like committed to it, because I know she samples out that serum, but she never samples out this. I'm so sorry to report that. I too really love this, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, everyone. I'm so sorry. But keep in mind, I did buy this on sale, and I also bought it before the price increase. So I'm speaking from that. But if I buy it again, which I'm like fully expecting myself to, I would buy the bigger size. Like I probably, even if I'm not 100% done with this, by the time the friends and family sale rolls around Thanksgiving, Black Friday time, if they do that again this year, I would buy the bigger one. I'd be like, I just need it. I know I'm going to use it. It's so pretty. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Like I said, to contextualize it for you, you guys know, if you've watched my channel, how much I love the Surratt Dewdrop foundation, and how it's like just the foundation, my foundation of choice. It's what I always run back to, even if I find something else that I like. The Surratt Dewdrop foundation is what I always run back to. That is how I'm feeling about this. That's how I'm feeling about this. Like, well, a lot of the stuff in my collection feels like it could rotate in or out at any given time. It's like I want to always run back to the Victoria Beckham by Augustinus Bader Cell Rejuvenating Priming Moisturizer, like I do with the Surratt and Sonia G brushes. So I'm so sorry. I really want to apologize to Majestic Beast. You are who I'm apologizing to. And Brittany. Like, there are a couple of you in the comment section who are, like, very interested in this, and I'm so sorry that I couldn't be like, it's mid, because that's just not how I feel about it. I'm so sorry. But again, if you're not someone who uses primer already, don't buy this. Like, you don't need this. This is for the people who love primer, and I love primer. I love it. It's like it's part of the ritual for me. But if it's not part of the ritual for you, you don't need it to make it part of your ritual. Okay, I need to move on from it because I feel guilty that I gave it a good. Review because I'm like, it's so stupid expensive. Okay. I've reviewed so many expensive things, but that is the one that I feel like I'm the most scared someone's gonna come back to me. But in first place are these eyeliners. Now I've been told. You know, I've heard everyone I watch on YouTube that has tried these is like, these are my favorite eyeliner. I also watch Chloe Enchanted. If you know I'm following Chloe Enchanted, you should. But Chloe said that these are overrated. She said they were good but overrated. And I was like, that's exactly how I'm going to feel about them. I was wrong. I said this in my trying this, in my first impressions video. When I put this on, I was like, wow. This is doing for me. And then in my comment section of that video after it went live to the public, because it was I will sometimes have things really ready in advance and I put it on Patreon first, and everyone has said, when you put that eyeliner on, your eyes looked so green. And I have just thought about it since then. But not only that, been upfront about this. I'm not someone who's like well versed in like pencil eyeliners. I use them only in the, like I really only, for the most part, use them in my waterline. I think something that I've never experienced before is something that like would glide this way. Like it glides onto both my eyelids and in my waterline. And it just does it for me. It just does it for me. And in the way that I use eyeliner, which, to be fair, is mostly in the waterline and like around the perimeter of my eyes and like kind of buffing them out. They're perfect for that. They stay. I don't think that this is the kind of formula that is built to do like graphic liner with, because I did some graphic looks. I have the sequin green one, and I did do like a winged liner, and I wouldn't use this as like an eyeshadow base. I know some people kind of just like put it on like eyeshadow and buff it out. It doesn't stay all day for me in that capacity. Like in my crease, it really didn't look great, but it stayed fine on my eyelids and like on the outer portion of the wing. So I don't think that they're like the best for like really big dramatic liner looks. So if that's what you're looking for, this is not what this is not it. But if you're just someone who puts it in your waterline and you're someone who like likes to smudge out and you like a sexy liner look, then look no further. They do. I really was like, eyeliner's fine. And that's really how, and these have like changed my mind. I'm like, oh, this is what eyeliner can be. And now I know why so many people buy so many of them, because I get it. Like now that I've tried it, I'm like, well, why would I try another eyeliner? And it's so refreshing too, because the last brand review I did of Charlotte Tilbury, I hated her eyeliner. And like to come in here and like be like, oh wow, my last eyeliner experience was so treacherous and so scary and awful, to come in to this. A slay. Viva forever, okay? Okay, who do you think you are? Mama, I love you. I love both of them. I'm gonna buy more. It's not, I'm going to use my personal budget, not my channel's budget. I'm gonna buy more. I love it. But again, and I'm gonna just reiterate this, it's not, if you do graphic liner, if you're looking something with like incredible tenacity, it's not it. If you are looking for something that, and like, does it stay in the waterline perfectly? No. But again, I'm into this like creasy rock star look, and so it's exactly what I need. And because of that, that's why I'm like gung-ho about them. But if you do graphic liner, don't ask me, because I don't really do that. But also, I know I can tell you from just using this, it's like not for that. It's just my dream. Now let's wrap up. I just want to talk about how I have felt about using this brand as a whole. If I was one to say that I had a favorite brand, or a brand that like could be my favorite brand, from my experience in the last 4 months using these products, Victoria Beckham's up there. Now, I've always celebrated Victoria Beckham's release schedule and like how it's just felt so organic when things get released, how much get released, whenever there's a new product, the way it is really like, I feel very aligned with this brand. The only thing that I'm really sus about is Clean Beauty, which the brand boasts of itself. I don't subscribe to Clean Beauty. That's like not something that, but like of all of the brands that have boasted about being Clean Beauty, this is some of the most high-performing stuff that I have tried from a Clean Beauty brand. But not only that, unlike Glossier, unlike Tower 28, unlike Say Beauty, unlike Merit Beauty, unlike Ilia, it still feels like makeup. Because sometimes these clean brands, like unlike Kosas too, sometimes these brands are like, you want to wear makeup, but you don't want to wear makeup. And it's like, no, I want high performing makeup. So if you're someone who's like looking to make a switch to Clean Beauty, and Victoria Beckham, like that is the same version of Clean Beauty that you are subscribing to, but you like miss like the oomph of makeup, Victoria, I would run to Victoria Beckham. Like Victoria Beckham is out here just like making excellent product. Like the only thing I was let down by, and I mean it, was the highlighter. And that's the only thing I can say in this group that I like just didn't like. I just like didn't like it. It wasn't like a product meant for me, but everything else worked so well. Like, I know the lipstick I said I didn't really like love, but it's still good lipstick. It's still good. This brand, like, I don't understand that, like, of all of the brands, especially of all of the makeup brands that are by a celebrity or like has a celebrity associated with it, this one is just, it's like the brand knows what it is, and it knows who it's for. And while some people might take parts of it and run with it, like someone in my comment section on Monday said, I don't think this brand is making makeup for me, but I really love their eyeliners. That's the thing. You probably can find yourself in something in this brand, even if you are someone who's like, I only really like indie eyeshadows, but like, maybe, you know, like, I just think there's something here. There's just something about it that this brand just like understood the assignment. Victoria Beckham understood the assignment, found a team of people, hired the right people, and they just make these products come to life. I'm like in. Like, I'm in, and I like was not expecting to, like, I was not expecting. It's so hard for me to feel this way. Like, you guys know I'm kind of like very skeptical of most products I try. Like, even when I'm trying them and I'm liking them, I'm like, I don't think I like them. But like, I have just like thoroughly enjoyed using almost all of these products for the past. Like, I'm so excited I can use them on camera. But it's like, also another great thing about this brand is like, look at my face, right? And I just feel like everything's beautiful all of the time. These aren't complicated products. They aren't convoluted products. They're not reinventing the wheel. They've just perfected the wheel. Their wheel has no bumps in it. Like, they just know what they're doing. And I hope that maintains, because I'm excited. I'm excited that I feel this way about a brand. I'm excited that the outcome of this has been like overwhelmingly positive for me. It's just also surprising. Like, it just feels surprising. It just is like, I couldn't have expected this. Like, I just like couldn't have expected it. So I'm happy to report that. What I also want to do is I'm going to find some creators with different skin tones than me. One of my fears about the bronzing brick is that it might not be as inclusive. There are a lot of shades of it, but I didn't know if it went deep enough. So instead of me making that call, I'm going to link some videos down below of people with like tan, medium, and deep skin tones that you can see them using some of these products on their skin tones and get a better feel for what it might look like on your skin tone if you're of a different complexion than me. I have linked everything down below. Those are affiliate links. If you feel so inspired to make a purchase through them, I receive a small kickback. You don't have to use them. And that's that. That's it. Victoria Beckham? Oh no, I think we're receiving a FaceTime call from Victoria Beckham. Tom, thank you so. And remember to hold on to your knickers, girls. Who do you think you are? Tom, thank you so much for reviewing Victoria Beckham Beauty. I'm so thrilled to hear that you enjoyed these products. I would love to send you some more products to review. Do you want me to sign off? Oh, thank you, Victoria. If you could just do that for me. Remember to follow your heart and you will find me. Thank you, Victoria, for leading us into the outro. If you are new here and you enjoyed today's review, I would appreciate you subscribing. Make sure you like this video and share it with anyone who you might think will find this information valuable. I would really appreciate it. And again, I'm on Patreon if you would like to support me there, but again, no pressure. Just there if you would like to throw a few bucks my way. I do 2 additional videos there every month. They're like kind of more personal videos where I like share a little bit of like behind the scenes about what goes on my end on YouTube and like maybe some more personal things that I am willing to share here on the regular platform. Thank you all so much for watching. Victoria told you to follow your heart, but I'm gonna say bye-bye forever.